Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. We're going to be looking at the Bible specifically at something Jesus had to say. We all know that the hardest challenge for the Christian isn't so much getting into church. It's not so much paying attention during the sermon. It's actually doing what God's told us to do, whether that comes straight out of the sermon or directly from God in the Bible. Either way, doing is harder than hearing, simply put. And that's what this passage here is about. We're going to be looking in the Gospel of Luke. It's Luke chapter 6, verse 46. It says this: "So why do you keep calling me Lord, Lord, when you don't do what I say? I will show you what it's like when somebody comes to me, listens to my teachings, and then follows it. It's like a person building a house who digs deep and lays the foundation on solid rock. When the flood waters rise and break against the house, it stands firm because it is well built. But anyone who hears and doesn't obey is like a person who builds a house without a foundation. When the floods sweep down against that house, it will collapse into a heap of ruins." It's pretty simple. The challenge in following Jesus is always in the doing. It's not in listening. We can listen to sermons all day. We can read the Bible 7 days a week, 3 times a day, for hours on end. And as good as all that is, if we aren't doing it, we aren't really following Jesus. So guys, this is what it comes down to. Are we going to do what God told us to, or are we just going to hear? There's a problem if we're only going to hear. It shows that we have something that is keeping us from following Jesus in reality. Jesus said that his people, the sheep that are his, will hear his voice and recognize it, and they will come to him. We don't have to fear Jesus because we know his voice, and we can go ahead and do what it is he's telling us to do. And so what he's talking about here is this basic idea: are you going to do it, or are you just going to talk about it? And this is something we've had a problem with in the church, is that we like to talk about it. And it's good to know the Bible. It's great, if we could all know everything in here, that would be awesome. But honestly, it comes down to this: I'd rather know one thing about Jesus and do that one thing than know everything about God and do nothing. I'd rather bat 1,000 in T-ball than bat 0 in the majors. It comes down to that. Are we going to do what God has said? And this idea is that we're like a house. Our lives are the houses that we build. And so when the floods come, when trials, when temptations, when hard times, when suffering comes, guys, when it hits us, are we going to stand? Is the life that we built going to hold up against that pressure or not? And the answer comes down to simply this: are you doing it, or are you just listening? And we need to be doers. We need to do what God told us to do and not just listen. Listening is good, but it's not great. And listening alone and talking about it alone just bloats our egos, and it makes us unhealthy in a very, very real way. So, guys, I want to tell you, please, please, please be a doer, not just a hearer. I love you. Hope this helps, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.